Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches, episode 157. Tonight we're reviewing Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. I feel like I should be like holding it like this and then
like turning the page.
Yeah. 1,000 planets. see, those are the planets. There's so many.
Are you saying this movie's for preschoolers?
Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets.
Yes.
Is the new Luc Besson directed, written, produced by him and his wife.
Yes.
Who's fabulous. If you followed us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, then you would know because we posted it. But we went to the premiere because we're like real bougie and special. His wife was there, and she was fabulous. And Rihanna was there, and was also fabulous.
Yes.
Duh.
So, this is the latest Luc Besson movie. I'm always excited for a Luc Besson movie.
You know it's gonna be a good time.
You know you're in store for something you might have never seen before. And he usually delivers. So Valerian is actually based on a French comic that's called Valerian and what was her name? Luce. I could never quite get a grasp on what her character's name was.
Lorelei.
No, but it was something close to that.
Okay.
Laureline.
Lorelei. It was something that was weird, and every time they said it, I thought, okay, remember this. Oh, yeah. I forgot it again.
Oh, Lorelei or something.
Or Lorelei. Yeah, it was way hard. It was hard.
Laureline.
Can we just talk about like the elephant in the room?
Can we talk about it?
He's bad.
He was miscast.
Yes.
That's the problem. I think he has the look of a brooding, emotional young boy who is mysterious, and maybe you go, oh, he's got so many feelings. Oh, maybe I like him. Oh, I don't know. Oh, he's so mysterious. He's that guy. Also, why is your hair dyed so terribly black? Was that driving you crazy? It was driving me crazy. And then they show young 10-year-old him, and he just has brown hair. It's like, so this is a choice. He is choosing to dye his hair shoe polish black.
I was annoyed more so by the difference of his haircut, like, look, and how different it made him look.
Yeah,
because sometimes I'd be like, oh, you're, like, kind of cute, and, like, maybe you are. Oh, no, you're weird. It's not, no.
Well, his hair was constantly a mess.
Yeah.
It was never, he didn't have that moment of, and then he combed his hair back and put on the tux.
Right,
you're like,
right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Now he's in the spacesuit.
You cleaned yourself up, gave yourself a shave, okay. And it was like, oh no, it never happened. He always looked a mess.
This entire movie, I felt like I was watching Clarissa Explains It All and Keanu Reeves go to space. It was weird, and I think that because they both felt so young.
They did.
He's 31 years old. And yet I thought he was like 17.
I mean, good for him.
Sure, but like it didn't work.
He didn't present himself as a man.
Right.
To me.
No.
I saw a young boy.
Yes.
Who was, silly.
Yeah.
And it needed like a man.
Right.
Right? But then she would have had to be sort of a woman. Like they matched.
And then it would have been Valerian and
Lorelei. And Lilu.
Lilu.
It's Lilu. Come on. We're all thinking it's Lilu.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Valerian and Lilu. Now that, Mila Jovovich comes back. Little cougar situation.
Yeah.
Except we should still replace the guy. They didn't have a ton of chemistry together.
No.
And the biggest problem is he's miscast.
I don't know.
The whole time you're waiting for a Bruce Willis, manly, sexy, funny action guy. And you have him, and you're like, well, this was written for someone else. And this is weird.
It really was. And I don't know, I don't know who else I would want it to be.
Well, I had a realization watching this movie. I was like, I don't know if we're ever going to have someone as charismatic as Harrison Ford.
Sure, but you know what? Who now I think about it, of like the people on the list for this role now?
Who?
Zac Efron.
Totally. Oh my god, totally.
Because he's hot.
He's hot.
He's ripped. Like,
he's
you know,
ripped.
he's like
sexy.
But then he also plays that like.
But he could be funny.
He could be funny and real sweet. You're
and
like,
real sweet.
oh, you really do care about her.
You know what? It's odd how many times Zac Efron would make a movie better.
But like, I think he would have actually been really great for this role.
And it would have been more marketable, for sure.
Yes, that would have actually helped. Oh, right. So the big story really with Valerian.
It's the single most expensive French movie ever made.
Yes.
And at the time, Fifth Element was the single most expensive French movie ever made.
But I don't think they're gonna make back $185 million.
That was in euros.
There was 185 million euros?
Uh-huh.
Are you sure?
I just read it.
I went into this movie really hoping that I would love it so that I could be like, yes, everyone go see it. Like, let's hope that it makes its money. Like, and more risks will be taken with film and, like, indie film and, like, different franchises than just Marvel Comics.
This is what I was thinking the whole time. I was thinking about Jupiter Ascending. And how that movie was super fucking boring. Yeah. And this was too long and didn't quite work fully, but wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. I couldn't be mad at this movie.
There was a lot I liked about it.
Well, I think the real big thing there is Luc Besson.
Oh, yeah.
And he just builds a world.
I mean, I read that he wrote a backstory about every alien classification.
Oh my gosh.
There was like a 600-page book that he wrote about the world, and everyone had to read it and be like, okay, I get it, or whatever. And I was like, you can tell.
Yeah, here I am in this big, huge market, like, with...
That was the single best act of the movie, I think. When they get onto that planet, it's the first big action scene. Yeah. They get onto the planet, they're both spies? Special ops?
They're like government agent spy ops who kill people, though.
Oh, yeah. They're 007-ish cops.
Yeah, in space.
And they're on a mission to get back this thing, and they have a whole plan. Yep. You're like holographically projected into this crazy bazaar, and
which was
that was all really cool.
It was all really cool. Well, and then I would say that Paradise Pier or whatever,
Paradise Alley,
my
other favorite part of the movie,
was also very Fifth Element.
The red light district. I mean, whenever those scenes were happening, I was like, oh, I'm into this. It was really bogged down by exposition.
Yep.
And dialogue scenes that were boring.
Yes, and also there was like a lot of cheesy like Star Wars Episode 1 moments for me.
The Gungans.
Right? There's
the Gungans that were there?
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, I'm having flashbacks. This is getting sad on a deep level. I don't know why. Oh, that's why. Whoa. I was trying to think of like why Fifth Element works and why this doesn't quite, right? And it's because the action wasn't cool enough.
Right.
Like the only action scene I really liked was in the bazaar and all of that.
That was pretty much the only action scene.
Other than just sort of like flying around and crashing, and then like he beats up the Gungans, but it wasn't like an action scene, right? I don't know. It was...
And I still felt really weird about him beating up the Gungans because he's like murdering all of these people.
Well, they take this whole point about how it would be a real political incident if he even goes inside of this place because he's not their species. And then he goes in there and murders all of them. I was like, well, this is going to be a political incident, right?
Right.
No? No? It's never mentioned again?
83 Gungans and the Emperor Gungan?
Right, when he just straight up killed the King Gungan, I was like, well, okay. This was a decision that was made quickly.
Right?
I feel like you're going to have to fill out some paperwork. And maybe,
lose your job? Or is it like, right? I was like, this seems...
He's getting court-martialed, right?
It wouldn't have been such a big issue if there was like a real villain.
Right.
But there's no like serious conflict, it seems. Like the whole plot line is that, okay, so we start... Well, wait. Oh my god. Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Well, so it starts...
Yeah.
And the David Bowie song
Ground Control to Major Tom
is playing, and it's a montage of the space program evolving over 100 years?
300, I think.
300 years?
Yeah.
Could have cut all of that.
I didn't mind it because it was short and sweet. It was like a title sequence, so it was like we're not wasting time.
It could have been shorter.
It could have been shorter. The International Space Station turns into the city of 1,000 planets, basically over this course of 300. Yeah,
it becomes every species lives here, and it's a big melting pot, and it's America.
Floating through space. I almost wish that had just been the trailer.
Yeah. And then we don't need it in the movie.
Exactly. Just make it the trailer, and it's like, this is the world that you're about to enter, right? The city of 1,000 planets. And then at the end, it would have just been like, here's this giant planet.
Yeah.
Or, city of 1,000 planets that's now...
Valerian.
Yeah. Coming soon. You're like, what's this? That would have been better.
The movie really starts...
Oh my gosh.
On Fabulous Cunt Island.
Basically. This was so weird and so great.
They basically are like the Na'vi, but pale. They're real tall and thin. This girl wakes up with her lizard.
Yes.
Gecko.
Yep.
Gila monster. And the first thing that happens is that she washes her face with pearls. And I was like, yes, you wash your face with those pearls. She's just like, yes. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes. And then her skin is just like, and I was like, what's this? What's this nonsense? What's going on? I love it.
I loved it. I also kind of want just like a pearl sink now. That's a life goal.
Ooh.
Just like a sink of pearls just to like...
Oh, I thought you meant a sink like made of glued together pearls.
Oh God.
Like, that seems a little tacky for you.
Oh yeah.
Seems like a little Liberace behind the candelabra for you.
No, he would have it be like mother of pearl.
Sure.
But no, I'm here for a sink filled with pearls.
Just 'cause.
Yeah.
She comes out and does a lot of...
Oh, she is feeling herself. Feeling myself. I'm feeling myself.
She was.
She was fabulous. I loved her. And then, spoiler alert, she dies.
I wanted the whole movie to be about her on her fabulous island where everything's great, where she's got a lizard that poops pearls. Just diarrhea pearls.
We learn that, they have all of these amazing pearls, and they give back to the earth and whatever.
Oh, it's an ecosystem.
Yep. And then all of a sudden, the apocalypse happens, and these giant ships.
It was very Wonder Woman. It was like, my life is fabulous on Fabulous Cunt Island. Look at me with my pearls. Oh, I'm so fat. And then it was like, oh no, something's falling from the sky. My whole life has changed.
Yep. Pretty much. It was like, what? Military people falling from the sky. So the giant flaming tidal wave consumes our poor favorite.
Yeah, she dies.
And she sends out this giant light wave.
She explodes into energy. Now I have a question. She sends out a light wave.
Yeah.
And we immediately cut to Valerian
on a beach.
Going, and he's just had a dream of this happening, and you're like, oh, okay, so that was a dream. Turns out she sent her soul to him because they can
via light wave because they're real special.
Whatever. If that happened 30 years ago, wouldn't that have happened to him as like a baby? And then wouldn't that make it more of like his destiny? But I was expecting it to be like, oh, it's your birthday today, Valerian.
I would have really liked that.
Because you're 30 today, because 30 years ago this happened and you have been born under this sign of, her, and you always had someone with you, and that would have been more...
That's a real good point.
Wouldn't that have made sense?
Also because, is he supposed to be 30 years old in this movie?
I mean, that's what I inferred, because I was like, oh, clearly...
How else would it, because it was 30 years ago this planet was destroyed.
So has she just been floating around in space, looking for someone, and then she just happened to, it took her 30 years to find him? I like my way better.
I do too.
Right?
When they kind of...
be like some heart and souls shit, right? Where it's like, and the ghost attached to him as a baby, and then, he grows up and, she was always there.
But that was kind of what they alluded to, because she's like, wait, you're telling me that there's been a woman inside you this whole time or whatever? And it's like, oh, that's weird.
That was an awkward, tone-deaf, old man conversation.
Well, Luc Besson wrote it, so...
There was a lot of, what year did the movie take place? 2300? And there was a lot of boy-girl dated dynamics of, you're a girl, you can't drive very well.
Yeah.
How are we going to work together? A boy and a girl being partners? And it was like, well...
Easy.
We're late.
Yeah, well, better late than dead.
You want to drive?
Oh, but...
Will you stop complaining about my driving?
Yes, I'm sorry. You're a great driver. You're the best driver in the entire universe.
Oh, thank you.
So, the other thing I was excited about was the credits were coming on, and it goes, and Clive Owen. And I was like, Yay, Clive Owen, I haven't seen you in years. Where have you been? Turns out he wasn't great. So he's the villain, but it's sort of just meh.
Yeah.
And he didn't fit in that role. It really needed to be Gary Oldman is what needed to, I mean, Gary Oldman knows how to make a Luc Besson movie work. I mean.
They're not here.
It would have been so good if he was just like unhinged Gary Oldman being like fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like throw in a little bit of Gary Oldman in Air Force One, right? Where you're like, oh, you're intense. What's going on? Like there was like a lack of like, I don't know what this guy's gonna do.
Right.
He's fucking crazy.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? Spoilers. It doesn't really matter.
Not really. If you're gonna go see it, which you should, or you should at least watch it at some point, I would say.
It depends on your taste.
If you like science fiction.
I was bound to like this movie. It's Luc Besson.
Sure.
Cool sci-fi action, you know, aliens.
But I don't love any of that necessarily per
that's
se.
good.
And
That's
I
good.
still really enjoyed this just from like the visual, like world creating perspective.
Oh yeah. So anyway, Clive Owen is a general.
Yeah.
Commander? What's the difference?
Don't know.
Okay. He's a general.
No, he's a commander.
He's a commander. Who was the 4-star general that had access? Was that Herbie Hancock? Because also
Who's Herbie Hancock?
Herbie fucking Hancock is in this movie. The jazz musician? He's like uber famous jazz musician, and he was the guy who was always the hologram. Basically, Clive Owen, during some war that happened 30 years ago, was the one responsible for destroying the Navi's planet, and then tried to cover it up, and the whole conflict is that he's been trying to cover it up and kill the last remaining Navi that have found their way to the city of 1,000 planets.
Pretty much. That's not a great motive. You
No.
know? It's like, oh, he was ashamed
But
of a mistake that he made.
Well, he was ashamed of the mistake he made, and he was so rigid and so militaristic and all these things. Now, if that was fucking Gary Oldman being like crazy, unhinged psycho,
Right.
you know, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It still isn't just like...
It's not great. It's not great.
No. And my thing, for me, the biggest... Can I fix this movie?
Please
Can we
do.
Can we do it?
So, first and foremost, cut 45 minutes.
100%. Cut the entire Gungan
Gungan?
feast.
The Gungan feast with the fabulous wedding dress and the gigantic hat.
That was great. We needed to have the two of them, Valerian and Lilu, just be a really good functioning team.
It was weird because
It was
they were
really
like
weird.
they were already like little kids playing spies, so that was weird.
Yes.
It was literally like pew pew pew, I'm gonna get you, and it was like, no, this is weird.
The way that he acted and talked and whatever made it seem like they were like seasoned, really skilled, like
That's what I'm
spies.
talking about.
But then it was like, what is this, Sky High? Like, what is going on?
It totally felt like Sky High. Over like the NASA intro, I would have preferred like them going through the ranks of the Academy, and they're the two youngest, whatever.
Sure.
They're so crazy good because of who cares why? Okay, great. They're
No,
great.
I wanted to be Zac Efron.
Well, certainly needed to be. That would have been great.
Shirtless.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Here's what I would have done. We start the film still with fabulous pearl face wash. The villain could be Gary Oldman.
It is.
Is Gary Oldman. I want Gary Oldman
Yes.
to be trying to steal all of these pearls. So it turns out that all of the pearls...
So you want this to be the plot of Avatar?
But different. And you'll hear... Okay.
Okay, good, because I don't like the
'Cause
plot
no.
of Avatar.
No.
I don't care for it.
Although this is a little bit of like white savior, and I'm not here for that. But okay, so what I want is Gary Oldman, that each of these little pearls has like 20,000
Gigawatts.
kilotons or whatever. Yeah, 1.21 gigawatts of energy inside of them, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, seemingly they're incredibly valuable and whatever. So
I didn't really get how anyone else was going to implement utilizing the power of the pearls.
well, maybe
Did everyone have a magic well and a shitting lizard? I mean, no one else had the shitting. It was the last shitting lizard. But
So, we start off, Pearl Face is great.
I mean, every movie should start with a Pearl Face watch.
But then there's this evil, creepy guy that like comes onto this planet, and they're like, "Who the fuck is this guy? What is he doing? He's trying to steal all the pearls, right?"
Fucking Gary Oldman, and he has a weird hairpiece, and he's being real fucking creepy.
Yep.
And I love it.
And he's stealing these pearls. They get him off the planet, and they think that they've chased him away. But instead, he comes back with all of this military ships under, like, you know, the guy, he's the commander, but like we didn't know that until then we see him on the ship. We're like, wait, he's supposed to be like a good guy fighting for good, but instead he's like abusing his powers and staging this war in order to gain control of this planet with all of the pearls. And instead of blowing the whole thing up, he does something that like destroys the ecosystem kumbaya-ness of it. It still exists, but it dies.
Yep.
And it shuts down, and like 98% of the Na'vi space people are murdered and genocided because of him.
Yeah.
But a few manage to escape. And Fabulous Face Wash Girl escapes from the planet and finds Valerian and Lilu.
Does she have a fuss budget droid and a really cute trash can droid that are helping her the whole time?
No. But Valerian is her only hope.
She does have her pearl shitting lizard, though.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Also, Valerian is played by Zac Efron.
Love it.
We can keep Kara. She was fun.
She was actually good.
She was good. She just still skewed young for me.
Yes.
But I think in a different dynamic, then maybe she would seem a little bit more badass. I'd like her to seem a little more badass and a little bit less like, you should love me. Don't you love me? Like, kind of take it back. I'm recasting her too.
Okay, great.
Charlize Theron.
And Zach. She's his mentor who taught him everything, and maybe he's got a bit of a flirty crush on her.
Then, literally the rest of the movie takes place on the city of 1,000 planets.
Uh-huh.
Pearl Face finds Valerian and Lilu and is like, you have to save me. And then, like, either she points out that it's the commander, or maybe, like, they've stashed away the people on the...
No, she has to not know he's in a position of power because she's only met him outside of drag.
Yes.
And then she sees him in the full military getup, and they like are Lilu and Valerian like are saluting him because like, hello, they're the boss, and she's like,
I like
love
that.
It.
I like that.
I like the middle section. So the middle section of the movie takes place in the red light district, Paradise Alley, and it's fabulous, and it looks like drag Mardi Gras, and there's just prostitutes everywhere, and it was like pretty great.
Yeah.
And it also introduces us to the best part of the movie, which I didn't think I'd be saying, that Rihanna was the best part of this movie. I am as shocked as you are.
Rihanna was great, but I felt like she was underutilized.
Well, so Rihanna shows up, so Ethan Hawke shows up doing his best Joe Pantoliano impersonation, and I was like, what's going on? This is when the movie, like, completely fell apart and became something else, but I liked it.
A little bit.
Basically, Lilu and Valerian keep losing each other.
Yeah.
Like, he's chasing something and then he crashes. She has to go find him, and then, she gets taken away and he has to go save her. But, like, so the plan was, she gets kidnapped by the Gungans.
Yeah.
They go into this temple that no one else can go into other than their species. So Valerian's plan is, I'm gonna go to Paradise Alley and wander around.
The ship was like, you need to find a shapeshifter thing.
And he just knew that was it.
Well, and so then he was going, and then Ethan Hawke was real pushy, and he's like, well, I have something real specific I need to find. And he's like, I got the best one in the world, bro. Also, I'm going to, like, stare really closely into your face like I want to make out with you. Will you make out with me? Can we make out? That's the vibe I got.
I definitely got more chemistry between him and Ethan Hawke.
Well,
and him and Rihanna.
Sure.
Than him and Cara.
That's true.
Okay, so by the way, we had to see this movie in 3D because we went to the premiere. I was upset about it, and it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
And then I was nauseated.
There were certain parts where
it was like, it was like, phew, we're flying flying through. Every time there was a quote-unquote, I think, an action scene, I was closing my eyes because it was making me want to vomit. The movie looked great.
Oh, well, no.
Like, the look of it.
Yes, but a lot of the CG stuff that made you nauseous did not look that good.
Okay, I wasn't looking, so
I don't think it's very easy to do, like, swoopy CG fake camera. Like,
so, I read about it. This movie wasn't shot in 3D.
Oh, maybe that's why it... Okay.
They did it later.
Maybe that's why then it really didn't translate well.
Yeah. So anyway, why was I talking about that?
Because it gets boring because you got tired.
I got really tired and bored because the 3D, and it kind of slowed down.
Yeah.
It was like real exposition heavy. And then once they got to Paradise Alley, I was like, yes, approve. And then Ethan Hawke showed up and he was being crazy. And then Rihanna shows up to do
a fabulous cabaret number.
A complete striptease musical number in the middle, and I was like, it was everything.
It was really great.
And I was living.
It was really,
she comes
really
out
great.
And she's Liza from Cabaret, and then she starts doing all these really crazy acrobatic, backbendy. I mean, it wasn't her for all of that. For like the wide shots where it was like real crazy, it wasn't her. But she was doing a lot of the dancing.
Yeah.
Then she turns into a slutty nurse, she turns into a slutty French maid, she turns into a slutty Catwoman. Like, it was just like, okay, it's just slutty disco roller girl.
Yeah.
All the Halloween costumes were there. And it was everything.
It was really great.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
And Rihanna was my favorite part of this movie. And I never thought I would say that.
There you go.
So there you go.
And I liked her character of like this shapeshifter blue blob thing.
Well, her name was Bubble.
Yeah.
And she's like an illegal immigrant. Like, this is where the movie got like real.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, Rihanna's storyline was the most real. Aside from like,
she's like this illegal immigrant, basically in like indentured servitude
to Ethan Hawke, and you're like, what the fuck? And they explain all of this. You know, she's in 10 minutes of the movie tops.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: she dies very unceremoniously, and I was mad about it.
I was so mad about it.
Like, no, Bubble, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I was ready for her to be like with them for the rest of the adventure, and then they'd be like, you know what you would be great at? Being a spy.
Duh. Because you can become anything.
Wouldn't that have been great? Wouldn't that have been great?
Okay, wait, okay.
The Adventures of Bubble and Lilu? I mean, I am here for it.
Here's, okay, going back to the fixed version.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Gary Oldman steals the little lizard.
Yeah.
And escapes, the planet is left to die. But she also escapes, maybe on board the ship or something, right? Trying to catch...
Stowaway.
Yeah. Trying to get after her lizard. She's like, I gotta get him back. Flounder, right? Goes back to the city of 1,000 planets. And then she finds Valerian and Lilu.
Yes.
Maybe because they're spies, maybe they're not spies. Maybe they're like personal detectives.
Maybe she falls into their taxi cab and asks for help, please. I don't know how it works.
Please. Help.
They bring Bubble along with them.
Of course.
And then at the end, Bubble impersonates
the lizard?
The commander.
Oh, sure.
Or the lizard. Or both.
And then it doesn't work because she's not the real one.
Well, right, exactly. But like they swap it out. And and then he's like, haha, I have the lizard still. You're all gonna die. And they're like, haha, we have the lizard. You have Bubble. And now she's gonna turn into a crocodile and eat you.
Oh my god, yes!
Or whatever.
A giant clam for the full pearl effect to come full circle.
Oh my god, I love it. Yes.
Chomp, chomp, chomp. Definitely could have used more Bubble.
Absolutely. And like she wouldn't have died. That would have been like, and then maybe she's like given an award and becomes a spy.
Of course, and becomes the best
She
spy.
gets her citizenship like he promised, you know, and she becomes a spy. I love it. There was 8 movies in this movie, but unfortunately a little bit of all of them stuck around rather than just having one really great one.
Yeah.
And I wish that there had been a little bit more clarity. And if there had, and maybe the budget could have been a little smaller, so that like if it had done well, they could have made a bunch of them. I really loved this world.
I loved it.
It's
I hope people keep giving Luc Besson money. I don't care.
Sure, but like I would have loved to see more of these movies. I just wish that this one had been better.
It did make me want to go watch some old Luc Besson movies.
Uh-huh.
Watch them, Nikita, Subway. The Big Blue is this weird... He makes weird movies.
Well, yeah.
No, but like... his weirdest movies are the movies that are just normal. So like The Big Blue is just about like scuba diving.
Oh. Okay.
Or like deep diving where you hold your breath and you go down.
Oh yes, free diving.
Free diving. Or he made that movie with Michelle Yeoh, the lady, about the woman that brought democracy to Burma.
Oh.
It's just like a normal movie, like historical drama.
Well, that's lovely.
Like, okay. When's it gonna get real weird in French? Oh, it didn't. This is weird. Like I don't know. His filmography's all over the map.
And then there's Lucy. So I don't know. I guess. Like I said, I see it for the world that he created.
I would have preferred to see it in 2D.
Sure.
Because it was making me nauseous. But, other than that...
I mean, I would watch it again.
It wouldn't have felt as long. I feel like I want to see it again, not in 2D, to see if it feels as long. Yeah, just not in 3D.
It's just way too long.
It's just very much too long.
And I think the problem is that he loved all of these things and didn't want to kill his darlings. And so it was just like, no, we have to have that. We have to have that. We have to have that. So let's just have like a 5-minute scene of that. And it's
Speaking of, the main guy is in the movie Kill Your Darlings.
Oh, that's right.
Weird.
That is weird. That seems like a better fit for him than this.
Yeah, weird, eccentric, sad poet who, is mysterious. Not like, hey, baby, I'm so sexy. It was weird. It didn't fit. It wasn't a sequel. It wasn't a remake.
Right.
I'm okay with it.
It wasn't a superhero movie where, the whole entire universe is going to end.
Nope. It was different.
Yeah. Thanks, Luc Besson.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.